It's been a long day. I'll go upstairs.
So what's next for Claire, Jamie, Ian, and William in the 18th century? With Jamie's new love interest arriving in Season 8, will that shake things up for him? Plus, some fans might still be unsure how Outlander Season 7 Episode 8 sets up Part 2, and we're here to break it all down for you. And while we're at it, we'll also explain the ending of Episode 8, including what's going on with Roger and Bree in the 20th century. Being an Outlander fan isn't easy. When the first season kicked off in 2014, viewers who got hooked on Claire and Jamie's epic love story had to endure a painful 6-month wait after the season was split into 2 parts. That's when the term Droughtlander was born, describing the long gaps between episodes. Since then, we've faced more Droughtlanders, especially the 2-year gap between Seasons 5 and 6 thanks to COVID. Now, we're in another one, with Season 7 also split in 2 and the final 8 episodes not airing until 2024. Just like in Season 1, where we were left hanging with Claire captured by Blackjack Randall and Jamie risking everything to save her, this season has plenty of unresolved plot lines and mysteries waiting to be answered in the second half. Outlander author Diana Gabaldon recently shared that the TV series will end differently from the books. Gabaldon, who started the time-traveling romance saga in 1991, is working on the 10th and final novel, wrapping up Jamie and Claire Fraser's story. However, with Season 8 being the last for the show and only 10 episodes to work with, things are bound to change. In a post on her Facebook page, Gabaldon explained that since the show hasn't adapted 3 full books, including the unreleased 10th novel, the showrunners will need to take a different direction. She expressed hope that fans will enjoy how both the show and books conclude, even if the TV series won't mirror the novel's ending. Gabaldon also teased a snippet from Book 10, though it doesn't have a title yet. As work on Season 8 progresses, including a recent table read for the 101st episode, fans still have Part 2 of Season 7 to look forward to this year. While the main series wraps up, a prequel titled Blood of My Blood is in development, focusing on Jamie and Claire's parents. Gabaldon acknowledged that Season 8 will have to condense a lot of material, including bits from Go Tell the Bees That I Am Gone, aka Book 9, and a synopsis of Book 10. She explained that the showrunners will pick key scenes and storylines, weaving them into a cohesive narrative for the final episodes. Now, let's dive into the Outlander Season 7 Episode 8 ending, where we catch up with Roger and Bree in the 20th century. After spending quite a bit of time on their story in the previous episode, complete with a somewhat forgettable moment involving a sex scene and Phil Collins' In the Air Tonight, things get serious as they realize their son Jemmy has been kidnapped by the shady Rob Cameron. While Rob always seemed a bit too interested in Roger's novel about time travel and made himself far too comfortable with Bree, his true villainy is only now fully revealed. Bree suspects Rob has taken Jemmy through the stones back to the 18th century. His goal? To use Jemmy to find the French gold hidden near Fraser's Ridge, since Jemmy and his granddad Jamie are the only ones who know its exact location thanks to Roger's book. Buck, Roger's ancestor who accidentally traveled to the 20th century, offers to help Roger track down Jemmy, even though he knows he's destined to die if he goes back to the past. It's a pretty selfless move, especially considering Buck was involved in the incident that led to Roger being hanged back in Season 5. Talk about character growth. With that, Roger, Buck, and Jemmy's scarf, complete with its adorable Tufty Club badge, head to Cray Nadoon, traveling through the stones and leaving Bree and their daughter Mandy behind as they set off to bring Jemmy home. As for Claire, Jamie, Ian, and William in the 18th century, let's dive into what's happening there. At the end of Episode 7, Jamie was lying on the battlefield at Saratoga, looking pretty much dead. So it's no surprise that some robbers mistake him for a corpse while looting, only to be shocked when Claire shows up to rescue her injured husband once again. After a bit of bickering, Jamie's classic line being, "What took you so long?" Claire tends to Jamie's wounds, including a pretty gruesome one on his hand. Fans get a few sweet moments between them, which is a nice change since we haven't seen much of that this season. Then the story jumps ahead 2 weeks. Claire warns young Ian about a future battle involving the French, which leads him to visit his crush, Rachel Hunter. He kisses her, she slaps him, and while both clearly want to get back to kissing, Ian is hesitant because of the dangers involved, including the war and his previous issues with Archbug, who threatened him after Ian accidentally killed his wife. Meanwhile, Claire and Jamie meet a soldier named Benedict Arnold. Claire reveals to Jamie that Arnold will become infamous for being a traitor after defecting to the British side, which shocks Jamie. Fast forward to October 7, 1777, the date of the Second Battle of Saratoga. Jamie, now healed enough to fight, sees his cousin Simon Fraser on the opposing side. Arnold orders Jamie to shoot Fraser, but Jamie aims at a nearby soldier instead, who turns out to be his son William. When someone else shoots Simon, Jamie and Ian join the rebels in storming the British fort. Arnold is injured, and Claire ends up treating him. He vents his frustrations about not being promoted, and Claire tries to comfort him, promising he will be remembered. Just as Jamie tells Claire he nearly shot William, a British soldier arrives, asking them to come to the British side because Simon Fraser is dying. Jamie visits Simon, who dies, and follows Scottish tradition by leaving the tent's entrance open for Simon's soul to exit peacefully. Claire and Jamie then see William at the camp. Jamie admits shooting William's hat off and gives him his own hat as an apology. Jamie reflects on how he's come close to shooting his son twice now and worries about what might happen if he misses a third time. General Gates then asks Jamie to take Simon's body back to Scotland and arranges for Claire, Jamie, and Ian to have safe passage on a British ship back home. Before they leave, Ian asks Rachel to look after his dog Rollo. As Rachel heads towards Valley Forge with Rollo, she encounters Archbug, who recognizes Rollo and makes connections about Ian's feelings for Rachel. Uh-oh, trouble is brewing. The season ends with Jamie dealing with seasickness, Claire and Ian on the British ship catching sight of Scotland in the distance. They're finally heading home. The biggest cliffhanger to resolve is obviously Jemmy's fate. Where is he, and what time is he in? Since many of these characters have stirred up trouble for Jamie and Claire in the past, the second half of Season 7 is shaping up to be even more dramatic than the first half. Get ready for more twists and turns. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Your suggestions for future videos are always welcome in the comments below.